Greetings, backers! My name is Monty Martin.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
And we are the Dungeon Dudes. We just want to start off by thanking everybody who has supported Sebastian Crowe's Guide to Drakkenheim on Kickstarter so far.
We've been absolutely blown away by the excitement and generosity of the community. We've blown through so many stretch goals, and we're really excited because now we get to talk about all of the subclasses we've designed because we've unlocked more of them to be put into this book.
So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the Apothecary class that Kelly and I have designed for 5th edition, as well as taking a look at the 3 original subclasses we developed for the class, as well as the 3 stretch goal subclasses that we've unlocked for it so far.
So the Apothecary draws its inspiration from occult horror fiction, which often portrays the main character as a scientist, doctor, or investigator. We took notes from such famous examples like Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or even Dana Scully from the X-Files, who investigates paranormal activities while also being a medical practitioner. We love these sorts of characters, and we really wanted to dive in and hone in on the idea of what an investigative doctor might feel like in 5th edition.
We also drew a lot of inspiration from the real-world occultism and mystery that has often accompanied medical practice throughout human history. People throughout history, and even today, have had some very strange ideas about how the human body works and come up with a variety of theories and magical explanations to explain all the phenomena and ailments that afflict us. And we really wanted to draw on a lot of that inspiration because it is kind of cool and magical in so many ways.
One thing that we wanted to capture with the Apothecary was another intelligence-based spellcaster, but we don't imagine the spellcasting quite in the same way as a sorcerer or wizard. This is a character that is using their medical expertise, their knowledge of the body and soul, their occult practices, and their esoteric theories, as well as combining alchemical supplies and reagents to create magic. And using their magic and their knowledge, they can both harm their foes and heal their allies.
Ultimately, the Doctor is such an iconic archetype in so much fiction and fantasy, and we felt that it was actually pretty hard to represent this kind of medical knowledge, magical practitioner, and investigator given the current spread of the classes that already exist in 5th edition. So we set out to create a character that really embodied all of these ideas and concepts, and we are so excited about what it gains. As we said, the Apothecary is an intelligence-based spellcaster, but rather than using the standard spellcasting progression that you might see in the Wizard or Cleric, Kelly and I decide to riff on the spellcasting mechanics of the Warlock. Thus, the Apothecary gains a limited number of spell slots that are restored on a short rest. We push the envelope a little bit here because our design for the Apothecary is far less cantrip-focused, and so we wanted to give them those extra spell slots so they could use all the amazing new poison and disease-based spells that we've developed for the class.
They do still get a few new cantrips though, and one of our favorites is Poison Needle. Poison Needle is a 30-foot range cantrip that does poison damage, 1d10. If you reduce a target to 0 hit points, you don't kill them with Poison Needle. You instead knock them out, leaving them poisoned and paralyzed.
Another really cool cantrip that the Apothecary gains is Bacterial Barrage, which does additional damage against targets that are already suffering from the magical effects afflicted by the Apothecary.
On top of their spellcasting, they also gain esoteric theories, which they get to learn every other level. And we have included over 40 esoteric theories for you to choose from that really allow you to customize the Apothecary in any direction you want to go. If you want to focus on healing, or melee combat, or just be a better blaster spellcaster, as well as a bunch of fun and quirky abilities, there are esoteric theories to help you accomplish that.
Maybe your Apothecary has such good scalpel discipline that they can vivisect their foes in the middle of combat, wielding their blades and bone saws as proficiently in melee as they do on the operating table.
Or maybe your Apothecary has acquired tolerance and has been dealing with poisons and diseases for so long that they no longer suffer the effects from their own spells and have gained resistance to poison damage.
Perhaps your Apothecary's potent chemistry has woven a critical effect into your spells, giving you the critical condition esoteric theory. This esoteric theory means that when your enemies roll a natural 1 on their saving throws against your spells do double damage, effectively letting your Apothecary spells score critical hits even on saving throw based spells.
And if you're wondering how to deal with all of those pesky undead minions, putrefaction is going to allow you to bypass undead immunity to poison and the poison condition. Your poisons are more potent than that and affect the living and the dead.
So the Apothecary comes ready loaded with so much customization so that you can fulfill a variety of archetypes between the spell selection and the esoteric theories. However, we take this a step further with the various occult practices, the subclasses available to the Apothecary. There are 6 in total that now have been unlocked for the campaign. We introduced 3 to begin with, and with the success of the Kickstarter project so far, we've added 3 more as stretch goals.
Kicking things off, let's talk about the 3 subclasses that were introduced right away into the book, starting with the Mutagenist. The Mutagenist is our Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde build, although you could also take this in the direction of the Incredible Hulk if you want it. The idea here is that your Apothecary gains a transmogrifying elixir, a special potion that they can drink on the battlefield to turn into a raging, hulking monster. The cool thing here is that when you do so, your strength score and your intelligence score get swapped.
Your Apothecary empowers their transmogrifying elixir by using one of their spell slots. And the level of the spell slot actually affects how powerful your unarmed strikes in your mutant form are. And as you gain levels, you'll be able to add the DNA of dragons and giants into your transmogrified form to take on their abilities.
Now, normally with this subclass, you can't concentrate on spells while you're in your transmogrified form. But at higher levels, you can choose to have the big brain genome that allows you to now concentrate on a spell while you're transformed as well.
And in the true fashion of the Incredible Hulk, if you are knocked to 0 hit points while you are in your transmogrified form, you stand up as your normal self, kind of in a bit of a daze, but still able to fight.
Next up, we have the Pathogenist. This is the master of disease and poison. They gain special mutations that they can apply to their disease and poison spells, allowing them to create new strains with expanded effects.
This is why we've created a whole bunch of new spells that interact and use diseases. And these are particularly pernicious pathogens, because for the Pathogenist, they can cause breakthrough infections on creatures that are normally immune to diseases.
The Pathogenists can also spread their diseases much quicker or hit multiple targets with their spells. So as you progress in levels, your pathogens are going to get more powerful, and the ways that you can augment your spell casting become more plentiful.
Finally, we have the classic Reanimator, inspired so much by Victor Frankenstein, because you will be able to build a corpse rot creature to serve you as a loyal minion. Stitched together from the corpses recovered from the morgue, your corpse rot creature is your loyal companion in battle, who you can actually heal with your electrical magic as well.
Not only that, but as you gain levels, you're going to be able to modify and build up your corpse rot creature. We also took notes from some famous examples like the Reanimator from H.P. Lovecraft, and you can gain a severed head that you can use as a spellcasting focus as well. So there's some really fun necrotic elements happening with the Reanimator. As we move on to the 3 subclasses that we unlocked in stretch goals, we start with the Alienist. The Alienist is a mentalist and parapsychologist. They gain a pool of psychic points that they can use to augment their spells or do unique psychic abilities.
They can use their psychic points to gain firm control of their foe's mind by debuffing their saving throws or adding additional psychic damage to their spells.
They also gain powerful telekinetic abilities, allowing them to teleport and fly. We really wanted to channel elements of famous characters that we love, like Jean Grey from the X-Men or even Eleven from Stranger Things, and really hone in on what that feels like in 5th edition.
Next up, we have the Chemist, which is really just our classic mad scientist. It really embodies a character that looks at all of the great chemicals and all the great concoctions and just says, I want to blow something up with all this. Because the Chemist expands the Apothecary spell list, gaining access to more destructive elemental spells like Fireball and Ice Storm, which are not normally available to other Apothecaries. The Chemist can really take these spells to the next level as a blaster, able to cause chain reactions and even weave the spells around their allies.
Eventually, the chemist can even store spells into bottles, allowing them to use them as additional spell slots or hand them off to allies to throw onto the battlefield themselves. And finally, we come to the Exorcist. The Exorcist is the expert in supernatural elements and demonic possessions. They're able to thwart ghosts, ghouls, and demons at every corner, using abilities that allow them to drive away such creatures or even stop possession in its tracks if you happen to have a team member possessed by a ghost.
Not only can they commune, channel, and drive off evil spirits, the Exorcist has a really unique ability known as negation, which allows them to interrupt and counter any monster ability, whether or not it's a spell, a breath weapon, or any sort of unique power that a thing like a vampire or a demon might have. Whatever it is, they can interrupt that monster's power, causing them to lose the ability as long as they fail their saving throw.
So those are the 6 subclasses available for the Apothecary, and a deep dive into what we hope to accomplish with our themes and ideas for this class for 5th edition. We're so excited for you to get your hands on the upcoming playtest and tell us all of your thoughts and feedback on the Apothecary and all 6 of these amazing subclasses.
Kelly and I actually started developing the Apothecary about 4 years ago as one of our very early projects when we started working on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel. And it's been something that we've had in our back pocket for a while, doing playtests in our own games, trying things out, experimenting with new ideas, and it's really evolved over that time. If you back Sebastian Crowe's Guide to Drakkenheim, you'll be able to get in on the playtest for the Apothecary coming this fall in October, where we'll be really taking all that feedback and refining this class into something truly special, unique, and well-balanced for your games of 5th edition.
If you look at our Kickstarter page, you're going to find some freebies that you can already look at, including a character sheet for a 3rd level mutagenist and a look at some of the spells that we've created. So keep your eyes on the Kickstarter page and stay tuned for some more videos from us where we take a look at some of the subclasses that we've created for 5th edition as well in this book.
Thank you so much to all of you who have already backed our project, and we'll see you soon in the world of Drakkenheim.